Hi, and welcome back to Taher Food Service Management Facebook page. I'm joined with one of our corporate dietitians, Melanie Wirth. This week is National Women's Health Week, so we're going to go over some just tips, tricks, pointers to keep yourself eating healthy and nutritiously. So, starting off, what are some basics that not just women, but everyone can do to eat generally healthier?
I always use the rule of the 80-20%. So 80% eat nutritiously, consciously, making smart decisions, and 20% let yourself splurge a little. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of a basic general rule that I like to give out to people. Eating a variety of fruits and vegetables is really important because there are a lot of nutrients that you need that maybe are higher in some vegetables and fruits than mm-hmm. others. Making sure you eat a variety of fruits, vegetables, grains, and proteins are also important. Not eating pork, chicken, and beef every day, mm-hmm. But adding fish into that to get your omega-3 fatty acids and other essential nutrients that are in fish. Maybe eating lentils or black beans, soy products. There are many different ways you can get your protein sources.
Yeah, that's a few of my vegetarian and vegan friends keep reminding me you don't always need to eat chicken to get your protein.
Yep.
What are some substitutions? Say stuff like this instead of that, like getting coleslaw instead of fries with a burger, or what are some things that people can look out and?
Okay, so when you're at a restaurant, there are a lot of decisions that you need to make. So usually, mm-hmm. if you get a burger, fries kind of naturally come with it, or chips. But on the menu, they'll also list you can get a soup, a salad, sometimes a side of fruit. Mm-hmm. But you can always ask the server for other things. I know a lot of the kids' menus have fresh veggie sticks. So if you just want something crunchy, like celery and carrots or fresh broccoli, they'll definitely add that to your plate instead. So you can ask your server for many different varieties and substitutions instead of getting the fries and chips.
Okay. Flavored waters are kind of becoming really, really popular. How do they kind of stand nutritionally? Obviously, they're better than pop or soda.
Correct.
But I don't know if we can go into some more detail about, those specific, drinks.
So a lot of people say they don't like just plain water. And if they're used to drinking sweeter things like a soda and they're trying to cut back, which is a great thing to be doing. So I honor and that's great encouragement. Mm-hmm. Maybe doing a flavored water, or some people even go to a Gatorade. Gatorades, you have to also remember, are sweetened with sugar and mm-hmm. artificial sweeteners. So you're reducing the amount of sugar you're drinking compared to a soda, but you're still consuming quite a bit of sugar. A LaCroix or a flavored water is a better choice. They're usually, read the ingredient labels, every water is a little different. They're sweetened with maybe a lemon juice or a citric acid mm-hmm. Or something like that, which is better than a bunch of sugar or artificial sweeteners.
Definitely.
So make sure you read your labels, what you're drinking and consuming. If you can't understand or even know what the words are in your ingredient labels, it's probably things you shouldn't be putting into your body.
Yeah, things that if you read it in a chemistry class, maybe it's not right. the best to.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. What are some items that people think are healthy but are really kind of hiding either sugars or fats?
One of the big things I can think of right off the top of my head is granolas or granola bars or protein bars even. Some of them are loaded with sugar. I've been talking about sugar at my house a lot lately, and my mm-hmm. husband was always getting Cliff Bars because he enjoyed eating those in the morning. Mm-hmm. And then he turned it over and saw that one Cliff Bar had like 24 grams of sugar in it, which is over half of what adult man should be eating in a day. So he decided he is no longer eating Cliff Bars. But when you read the ingredient labels, if sugar is in those top 3 or more ingredients, you need to avoid those, depending on how many ingredients are in it. But that's one way to kind of figure out if it's really nutritious or not. The same as with yogurt. Some yogurts have a lot of sugar in them and others don't.
Oh, okay.
So some people think yogurt is yogurt, but they are very different. So make sure you're reading your labels again.
Like, say, the difference between regular yogurt, Greek yogurt, apparently Icelandic yogurt is now a thing. So
Yeah, and even Greek yogurts, depending on the brand, the sugar level is going to be different because of how they sweeten it. You can always go with a plain yogurt and then sweeten it yourself, adding vanilla extract or a little honey. Then you have control of how much you are adding to it as well.
Oh, okay. Are there any other tips or tricks? What could people be cutting back on to do the most? Like, what would help them the most if they cut back on maybe one certain thing, or maybe, I guess, as we talked about, sugars. Are there any other things that, artificial sweeteners, are they better, or is it?
That's really tricky because yes, we need to cut back on the sugar amount we eat. So a natural way to do that would be by increasing the amount of artificial sugars you consume. But there's a lot of conflicting studies on artificial sweeteners, so that's it's tricky. Stevia, the natural sweeteners that are 0 calorie, are great alternatives, but they can be a little bit more expensive. And the flavor we're so used to eating and consuming sugar or high fructose corn syrup, that flavor is very similar, or drawing a blank, very familiar to us. So adding a different type of sweetener, people may not like it. It takes some time to get used to.
That makes sense, yeah.
But sugar is a big one. Sugar can cause a lot of havoc in your body. There are studies that are finding that it causes more problems than saturated fat. So we do need to make a conscious effort to not eat quite as much sugar. That's probably the biggest thing that I think people struggle with. Sugar is very addictive, and manufacturers are adding it to their foods so that they ensure that we continue to consume those foods. So it's kind of a catch-22 in a big vicious circle. But the more people are aware of it and wanting to have less sugar, the more response we are going to get from our manufacturers to reduce the amount of sugar in foods.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a good base for people to go off of. I think, thanks for joining us,
Yes,
and
thank you.
we'll see you guys later.
Yes, bye.
Thanks.